Those most likely to survive an apocalyptic event very likely deserve it the least. So what do I mean by that? This is a point that was sparked by a video I did not too long ago discussing busting the top 10 myths that some preppers believe. And one of the items on that list was how many preppers believe that there will be no more governments if there were a total global collapse due to some apocalyptic style event, either man-made or through some natural disaster. Never mind the fact that there will be micro-governments of some type formed, either out of necessity or by force, depending upon the circumstances. If there were to be a cataclysmic global disaster, there would be new communities formed, and there would be warlords. There would be organizations of one kind or another. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the governments and systems that are in place that we all toil under now, rising from the ashes to reclaim their stake in humanity's business. All the people who are the most likely to have caused a man-made global catastrophe will be snugly tucked away a mile underground with a century's worth of supplies, waiting for the dust to settle, waiting for the rest of us to muddle through the hard part so that they can reemerge and reestablish their dominance when the work is done. And it doesn't have to be a man-made disaster like a pandemic or an atomic event. It could be anything that changes the face of the earth, a supervolcano or a meteor, for example. But just know that all the congressmen, governors, presidents, prime ministers, heads of states, and politicians of every kind, dictators, corrupt activists, royals, banking robber barons, shady religious leaders, captains of industry, super elite celebrity stooges, and other media fat cats will be safe and secure in the most high-tech bunkers ever built. All these high-profile people who are always discrediting the need for any sort of preparedness and telling people to trust their government, make no mistake. These hypocrites have some of the safest, most secluded, well-guarded, most well-stocked, and luxurious bug-out locations in the world to run and hide in if things go wrong. And why is that? Because they can afford it better than anyone, because of the power and the privilege granted to them by money and paperwork, and because they don't believe the slippery rhetoric that they force feed to the rest of us. And why do they lie to us? Because it profits them to do so. And even more unfortunately, because most people are willing to believe them without question, either out of fear that they may have to actually do something about it, or because it suits some agenda of their own. Not only are these types of people completely lacking in the skills necessary for rebuilding or surviving, not only are they some of the least deserving of surviving a world-ending catastrophe, not only are they hypocrites for discouraging others from being prepared while they were preparing themselves, but as previously stated, they are the most likely to have been at least partially responsible for the global devastation if it were a man-made disaster, either directly due to their political standing or indirectly due to their misleading of the public. They will wait until all the hard work is done. They will wait until all the hardship is falling behind. They will wait until we've thinned ourselves out. They will wait until it is safe. And then they will reemerge to save us from ourselves. Now I know what you may be thinking. Let them try and make a comeback. See how we deal with it. And true enough, that many people who have experienced freedom for the first time in their entire lives are going to be reluctant to allow the order that was likely responsible for ruining the world in the first place to simply slither in and regain a foothold. But the truth is that for every person who says they will resist, every person like you, there will be 3 looking to fall in line. Like in all things, some will resist and others won't. One viewer made a reference to the film The Postman in that previous video and made a very good point about how eager everyone was to believe the postman's stories about restructuring government because they all wanted to be saved. Even though this is a film reference, there is some truth to the idea being presented. There will be many people like this who are willing to roll over and surrender their newfound freedoms and the freedoms of everyone else if they think that someone else being in control will make life easier somehow. Even though history and experience has taught us otherwise time and time again, they will be willing to give away everything they have for the illusion of comfort and the illusion of security. So when those times come, all I can say is remain vigilant and remind those who would so easily surrender real freedom for imagined security that things weren't so great as everyone pretended that they were at the time. So what do you think? I know you must have an opinion on this subject. Please feel free to post your thoughts in the comments section down below. Share the video if you can, and subscribe if you are new. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you've got something out of it. I hope it got you thinking. Remember to hit the notifications icon if you are new so that you can be alerted to new content. Hopefully, you never know with ScrewTube. And check out some of the other videos if you get the chance. If you didn't know, I can also be found on another channel called Coffee Talk. Please do check it out if you get the opportunity. And all that being said, stay frosty, folks, and thanks for watching.